We're now inside my Aweber account. Let me show you how to send emails. First, let me point out a couple things. You see, this is the number of subscribers I have in this particular account. This one's actually the account that I have for my restaurant. And 4,559, it's either large or small, but it all depends on what you do. For a restaurant, for example, these are all people that have already bought from us, are already regular customers and so forth. So it's definitely enough where I could send an email out on a Tuesday night and be completely full. Whereas if this were for an online business of people that just kind of heard about us and just signed up on a whim and haven't bought from us yet, it's completely different. So I wanted to share that with you because it just depends on what it is that you're doing instead of just thinking of the number of people on your list in absolute terms. Anyway, sending your emails, you go to create a broadcast here. And then the first thing you want to do is pick the template that you want to use. I always use the plain left align template because it's the one that looks just like a regular email. And I usually send it just like this. If you wanted to change anything about the template, the only thing that I may change is having a logo or some sort of thing on the top, maybe even a header, and then just keeping the rest of it text. You could still include some pictures or whatever, just like you would in a regular email, but I would keep it as close to a regular looking email as possible, with the one exception of if you want having a logo or a header on the top, but I don't even do that. So anyway, all you need to do then is put your subject line and then put the text of the email here. So I'll just copy paste something I wrote. If you want to personalize it and have their information, you can just click here and put in their first name. And the last thing you want to do, just to help with readability of your emails, is make the margin smaller. Because when people have to read from one side all the way to the other, they're less likely to read it. But when all they have to do is read down, it's a lot easier to read. So you don't want to go too small, but you do want to make them smaller. See, this is probably too small, but you could just click here, make it a little bit bigger, and then you hit save on the bottom, and then just hit next, and then next. And this is where you can choose to send an email only to particular segments of a list if you want to do that. We'll talk about segments a little bit later. And you can also include other lists, or you can exclude people that are on a list as well. So for example, if you have two lists that overlap, if you only want to send to the people on one list but not on the other, you can hit exclude and it'll exclude the people that are on whichever list you exclude. So you do that, and then you could either just schedule your email here, or you can just hit save, go to the main page again, and hit send now. So after you've scheduled it or just saved out of that page, you come here where you could hit send now, or if you haven't scheduled it, you could schedule the email. Last thing you should do though is send a test email. So you just come here, click on send a test, put in the email address you want to send it to, and you'll get a test email before you send it out to everyone. Make sure it's good, make sure the formatting is good, and what you want to do is look at it on your browser, on your computer, and also take a look at that same email on your phone. Make sure the margin is good, not too wide, not too narrow, and everything's looking good. And then once it's done, you can hit send now, or you can schedule it for any time in the future as well.